Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another Small Town Music Outside edition. I'm hoping this will become a regular spot that I can record things as the summertime goes on, but we'll see, especially depending on weather and timing and all those fun things. So I'm going to continue my Music Mom series. So talking about being a music teacher and a parent. So if you are not a parent yet, but you hope to be. I hope you find this useful. If you are not wanting to be a parent, but maybe you're just kind of curious or just, I hope you can get something out of this, is my goal in saying this that, someday you may want to be a parent. Even if you're like, no, I'm not changing my mind, I'm not going to be a parent. That's fine. You do you. But you may have to end up taking care of someone who needs you, um, not necessarily a parent-child capacity, but it could be like your parents become older and ill, and you have to take care of them while also maintaining your full-time job. Your partner, your friend, whoever, you may have to be in that kind of capacity of taking someone else under your wing while you're teaching full time. So I hope that this is useful in that capacity. So, I am specifically talking about being a parent to small children because that's my current experience. That my children are about almost two. They're almost 2 years old. So I've gone almost an entire school year now with having very young children and having young children in daycare and having to take a lot of sick days. So kind of how do I manage that? So Um, like everyone had told me that it was going to be a terrible year because they were just going to be sick all the time. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm sure like we'll get through it. And we have, like, everyone has been fine. No one has been hospitalized. No one has been seriously ill, which we are incredibly thankful and grateful for. Um, but yeah, it has rocked our socks a little bit, so to speak. So it kicked off like day one of daycare. I dropped my children off. It was literally the first day of school. It was terrible. I hated that because one of my children was sobbing inconsolably the entire time we were trying to talk to the daycare directors. And I was like, okay, great. I'm just going to leave you now. Bye. Um, so if you can get into daycare a little bit earlier, I recommend that just to kind of ease that transition for you and for them. But our situation, we could not, they didn't have open spots until like literally the first day of school. So it is what it is. Um, but trying to get your kids used to other people, and everyone's kids are different. Like, I was like, oh man, we didn't let our kids spend time with strangers enough because now they hate strangers, and we're like, no, you're fine. Like, you're not a bad parent because you spent too much time with your kids, which isn't a thing. Well, maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a parenting expert, but to say that like one of my twins was fine, had no trouble easing into daycare. The other one, terrible, hated it. And she still is like, I have one twin that's way more outgoing, and the other one is like, I don't want to talk to strangers because they're scary. Like, I agree, strangers are scary, so it's okay. Like, that's just who she is. And the other one is just like, oh, new friends? Yeah, let's play. And you have no control over that. Kids just come as they are. Um, but if you can start daycare like a couple weeks before school really starts, that can be helpful. Their first birthday, they both had double ear infections and hand, foot, and mouth. And if you're thinking, that's a weird thing, I have no idea what that is. Yeah, I didn't know what it is until we started daycare. But it's, you all of a sudden get really familiar with very interesting diseases that apparently only happen to small children. Like, I think impetigo is one, and Fifth's disease, and hand, foot, and mouth, and I don't know. It's crazy. They get all kinds of crazy things from daycare. I don't even know, like, how does that even start? But anyway, we got hit with that right off the bat. And then they just kept having ear infections for like 3 months. And so that was like you try this antibiotic and then this one and then this. And then finally, like, it got to a point with my one child. She got the antibiotic shot, which was kind of like the tipping point. They're like, okay, we're going to refer you to the ENT and maybe get tubes. And then they like stopped having ear infections. So, and then like November was pretty good. And then December, they got a stomach bug. And then my child scratched my cornea, which I didn't realize that could be a thing, but it is. So, anyway, my point in this long, rambling story that you didn't really want to hear my entire child's health history. It kind of comes in waves. I feel like the fall we had a lot, and I think it was just the ear infection. Like they just kept getting ear infections because they weren't clearing the ear infections all the way, which was really annoying. So do your best with that. Me and my husband, I was very fortunate. I did not have to take all of my sick days. I still, even now, I still have plenty banked up. And me and my husband are able to kind of trade off and take turns taking time off. And it's really a like, okay, I have a concert coming up. I need you to like really take over right now. Or, for him, if he's like, hey, I've got things at work that I cannot miss work. Like I need you to take the, like, okay, yep, I will take the day. Like, okay. So we trade off as much as possible. And sometimes he takes more and sometimes I take more. And it just kind of depends on the time of year. But and I found I get really frustrated because I want to be a good mom. I also want to be a good teacher, and those things it feels like they cannot coexist right now. Because of when I spend more time at my job, I'm a better teacher, but I feel like a worse mom. When I spend more time with my kids, I'm not as good of a teacher, but I'm a great mom because I got to hang out with my kid all day. And that just really stinks. So there's a lot of guilt that surrounds that. If there wasn't already enough, guilt being a band director in modern society and all the things that come with public school teaching. But yeah, there's a whole level of parent guilt that it's like, man, I feel really guilty that I'm like, please don't be sick because I really have this important thing going on at work. It's like, oh, great. Now I'm like not paying enough attention to my child, which my kids are young enough. I mean, they're really starting to communicate now. They're going to start remembering things. They're going to start really, we're building foundations for their whole life right now. So that's a terrifying thing. Then it's like, oh, I'll just, it's fine. Like, and it will be fine. Like, they will be fine. I am not a bad parent. If you're listening and you're a parent and you're also going through your kid being sick all the time, you are also not a bad parent. I think just being over prepared for sick days is helpful. So, on the parent side of things, not to turn this into a parenting podcast, but I could talk all day about being a parent. But on the parent side of things, I try to have an unopened bottle of medicine in the cabinet every time we have an open bottle of medicine so that we don't run out because inevitably it's going to be like 3 in the morning and they have a fever and they're screaming and you're like, oh shoot, we don't have any Motrin or Tylenol. What are we going to do? Um, so it is my goal to always, and we have like some Tylenol in the diaper bag too. So there's always like an untouched bottle of Tylenol somewhere. If we're really in a pinch, I prefer Motrin. That's kind of my go-to. I think it lasts longer. Your baby can take that when they're 6 months old. Just fun fact. Anyway, unopened bottle of medicine. I kind of just leave them out on the counter in the hopes that it's like a sacrifice to the ear infection demons. I don't know. It doesn't always work because we've had another ear infection recently, but that's my process. um, on the school side of things, I try to record my lessons as much as possible to help my students along with that process. Um, and to just like be prepared. We have something called Music Play Online right now for elementary music. And that has been a really great resource. I need to use it more for classroom resources because they have a lot of great videos and stuff. But it has been great for sub videos because they have just like, there's like an intro song and body beat, echo percussion. There's games that kids can play. There's videos about different countries. There's videos about music history. There's other songs they can learn. There's song stories. There's all kinds, and you can have an entire 30-40 minute lesson with these videos, and your sub just plays one after the other. As long as your computer still works, and sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. But that has been a really great thing for elementary music. For high school, it's been frustrating for my middle and high school bands because I'll usually find a way to put them in practice rooms and to do, I'll say, like, record a specific song, practice this piece of music and then record it with a group of friends. Like, if I see everybody's face in at least one video, then you get your participation points for the day. We are not special in this, but we have a sub shortage just like everywhere else. So oftentimes my middle and high school classes will not be in the band room. They'll be shoved with other classes kind of in a common area. And that's really frustrating for them and for our poor office staff who has to like deal with that. And I did a whole podcast about like lesson plans and sub plans specifically. So if you want to listen to that one, to get more detailed information on sub plans. But I think just trying to have assignments that take up class time so they're not getting into trouble, but also aren't like ridiculous. I know that can be very frustrating for kids when they're like, man, I keep having these terrible assignments. Um, Google Classroom has a really great feature where if you put a YouTube video up, then you can add questions that will pop up throughout the YouTube video. I think that's great. Also, good old worksheet packets, like have some pages printed out and ready to go. I this year I created theory workbooks and I was really excited about them and it's worked well. I think next year I'm still going to do theory workbooks, but I am going to keep them in tubs so then I can say, well, number one, they won't get lost, and number two, I can give that to our office staff. Like the day that I'm gone, if I know, like, hey, I know there's probably not going to be a sub, so here's their workbooks. Like, they need to work on page 16, 17, and 18. And if they don't get it done, then they don't get points for the day. So things like that. And, like, work is not going to get done the way that you wanted to. Like, kids are not going to pay attention. They're not, I have done videos. I've tried to do practice videos. I've tried to do videos explaining music theory, and they're still like, well, I don't understand anything. I'm like, did you watch the video? They're like, what do you mean there's a video? I don't even have a Chromebook. So it is what it is. I try to kind of look at even week to week, day to day. It's it's a it's a toss up of like, okay, is this a really important week or is it not? And we have those. We're getting close. We're getting really close to one concert, and then we're getting closer to another concert. So we're in a good spot. Me personally, I'm in good spots with my ensembles and my classes for both of those concerts, but it is frustrating because I just want to get work done, and the kids also want to get work done. So it feels like you can't get anything done, your class can't get anything done. All these things are happening, but at the end of the day, like, you're a parent, and I choose to be a parent first before a teacher, and so that's really important to me. And like today, my kid, they had to stay home, and I'm glad I could be here for them because that's time that I get to spend with them, and that's time that I hope that they remember. As they get older, she probably won't remember today specifically, but they can know that, like, yeah, my mom was there for me, and she helped me, and she made sure I was taken care of. If you have family or friends or even someone you trust, if it's kind of a situation, I know we've been in a situation before of like the daycare rules. If they vomit, they can't vomit, fever, diarrhea with it. They can't come back after 24 hours. So there have been a couple times where like they are not necessarily contagious, but they can't go back to daycare yet. And so in those situations, it's nice to have. I know my mom is really great about being able to come down. Shout out to my mom. My mother-in-law, shout out to her. She's fantastic. She's able to help us sometimes. My, grandmas are wonderful. I've had like a close friend who was able to just come for the day, and I paid them, and I was like, hey, here's $50. I need you. Can I please go to work? Um, And so that's really great too. Just a reminder that that's an available thing. That lean on your village. I hope you have a village. If not, I'm so sorry. But trying to lean on those people that can help. And if you have to take the days, just remember that like it's your kid, and they want you, and they need you, and it's gonna be okay. Like they will not be sick forever. They will not continue to get sick for forever. There will be a time where it will slow down, but like they're kids, so they're gonna get sick. But they will bounce back pretty quick. I know Laura; she would have a lot to speak on this because she ended up taking. She took a whole 9 weeks because of her son's surgery. It was necessary and needed. There were some some things after that required her to take some more time, um, but yeah, kind of if you're in a situation where you know something like that and in advance, then you can plan. She was able to get a fantastic sub that was able to keep the ship afloat. Um, but she was able to still like be in contact with them and to do things that she needed to do, but be there for her son, which was really great. So take it in stride, take it a day at a time, trade off with your partner as much as you can. Find people who are willing to be your village and to help you out when you need it, and try to stay calm and stay sane. And remember, this is just a phase, and it's gonna go. It's gonna go fast. Okay. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, if you have any suggestions for future episodes, especially if you're curious about being a parent and being a music teacher, I will continue the series as time goes on and as I experience more of parenthood. Next time, I will talk about music specific topics. So if you're not a parent and you're not planning on being a parent and you just want to hear about being a music teacher, it's coming back, I promise. Thank you so much for listening. Find us Small Town Music Podcast at gmail.com, on TikTok, on Instagram, Small Music, on YouTube, Small Town Music 21, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, PodBean. Okay, thank you. Bye.